Doing a recap, should New Edition have fired their first manager? I'm gonna weigh in on the topic, right? They're doing a series right now. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on BT. I'm a big fan of music biopics. I love how stories are described, put together. For everyone that's watching it, if you're in music and you're saying, man, did that manager deserve to be fired? Did he deserve a second chance? Sirr Love, what is your thoughts on it from a music business standpoint outlook today? Let me break it down for you. For those that don't know, my name is Sirr Love, and this is Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. Let's do it. First off, for all those that, have been watching the show, you know that I'm doing a whole series on management right now. I'm putting out a lot of different videos, and it's going to continue growing. We're in the editing process of building this thing out, of making this management series kind of robust and providing tools online to help the management people and artists, come together and work together cooperatively and this, that, and the third. Now, what are my thoughts on this whole thing? I really want to break it down just from a business standpoint, and just talk about management and what it is. Now, I personally love the fact that these young guys were ambitious, or were depicted as ambitious, and chased this, this manager down and cornered him, at the nightclub. These young guys out in the streets in the middle of the night, that kind of gives you a mindset of, where they were in their life and what type of community environment they were in. But they chased this man down in a nightclub. A lot of young guys are going to do that today. They're like 12, 10 years old, and got this man to manage him. He showed up on time. He taught them a work ethic. He taught them how to perform. He taught them all these various different things. And he really helped shape and mold these young guys. He's spending his own money out of his own pocket to buy them outfits, to feed them, to take them to school, to this, that, and the third. He's really doing a lot. And I think that the movie, he spoke about it when they first were talking about voting him, off and this, that, and the third. But for those that have never taken on a management role, or for any artist, I know I've seen this because myself, I used to be in little groups when I was younger and singing and rapping and this, that, and the third when I was a kid, and my dad was like the manager, and I got to watch, what that looked like, and he didn't know what he was doing, just like this manager didn't know what he was doing. And I saw that comparison, and I thought it was rather unique because I remember in particular when my pops would pick the kids up from school, feed the kids, take the kids home, make them do their homework, this, that, and the third. And when he drop them off, the parents would be complaining about what time they got home, or, did they make any money at the show, this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, they smoking some weed and drinking Hennessy and playing cards, not concerned about their kids' well-being at that time. And so, I kind of understand, from that perspective, how much time, work, and effort a manager puts in to make something happen. And then you have these parents who are kind of in the background, who they want what's best for their kids, but they're not necessarily putting in any work or effort to understand the true value that the manager is doing. Most parents, if you put them in that situation, they wouldn't even want to do it, right? So I have to first take into consideration that my man's, put in work, and he deserved to get financially compensated in some type of way for all the work that he put in, right? On the flip side of this argument, right, he didn't know the business. He wasn't equipped to go to where he wanted to go. My man understood performance. He understood the hustle. He was everything a manager was supposed to be, from a personal standpoint, from a performance standpoint, but he didn't have the business side together. And when in my management video, when we talk about skills, right, this is one of the things I talk about. Like, every manager has different skills. A lot of artists, a lot of artists and a lot of artists' family and people around the artists, they expect, especially now, they expect a manager to know everything and to play every role. You're supposed to be good at marketing, you're supposed to be dope in the studio, you're supposed to be able to help bring girls or guys or whatever backstage, for the event. You're supposed to be able to, manage the money, you're supposed to be able to be the lawyer. You should also know how to get the record on radio, set my tour up, do what, you understand that, every manager has their strengths and their weaknesses, and they have to play to their strengths and fill in the gap for their weaknesses. And this is something that, I feel like he didn't necessarily do well. At the same time period, there wasn't as much knowledge readily available around that time period for people to read and learn. Now, he could have went to the library, could have got, abreast of his skills, this, that, and the third, but, it didn't happen. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. All right, he was in a situation where, first off, as depicted in the movie, he had nothing to do with the contract process. You know, he said it in the video, hey, I'm not the booking agent. I don't deal with that. You know, he said, go talk to the booking agent. He said it almost as if he didn't have a really strong relationship with the guy. I don't get the idea or the mindset that he hired the booking agent. So who hired this booking agent? What does this contract say? He has no control over all of these things. So that's the first part. And as a manager, as an artist, when you hire a manager, you have to understand that an artist is a company. If you're a group, you're a company. As a group, you're a company. And as a company, your manager is it's the most important piece that you're going to put on your ensemble. Your manager is like the CEO of your company, right? So if you're going to hire a CEO of your company, he or she may not be able to do every single thing entitled to run the company, but they know a lot about a little bit. And a little bit about a lot, and then hopefully they give it everything they got. That's just catchy and cheesy, but whatever. They know a lot, and they can, you know, play their role and hire the right staff members underneath them to get the job done. So though he may have specialized in performances and specialized in keeping the boys' mind right and keeping them in line and having the group move and operate a certain type of way, he should have taken the reins and hired the correct people that can play the other roles that he can't play. And then he should have oversaw what they were doing to best protect the interest of the artist, which is, if he's a CEO, to protect the best interest of the company. And since he was unable to do that, he did need help. Now, do I think he needed to be fired? I wouldn't have necessarily done that, because I believe that you need a strong person in your corner that does supply, you know, the skill set that he did supply, and hopefully he would be able to continue to grow in those skill sets, right, and possibly branch off in a couple other areas as time went on. However, I believe that a co-management situation would have been ideal in this situation. Bring on somebody that knows how the business goes, and let this guy, you know, at least move him to road manager. Don't get rid of him altogether. Make him the road manager. He obviously was able to handle that part of the deal. The boys went on the road. They did their thing. They came home, right? Let another person come and be the main manager. Let him be the road manager. And I think it would have been a win-win situation for everybody. He would have eventually, if you had a good manager in place, he would have got everyone their money, because the manager in this situation his name was Book, whatever. I don't know. I just watched it. It was just on. But, you know, he lost a lot of money. He left a lot of bread on the table. And this is just me seeing the first episode. I don't know if he comes back in episode 2 or 3, this, that, and the third. I know they introduced a new guy. You know, and I feel like they're going to go through the same rigmarole. I don't necessarily know what this new guy's getting ready to do. I don't know, you know, who he is personally or, you know, his history in the business. But I do know that management is a very fickle job. And, yeah, they should have kept him on and moved him to a different role. That's my take on it. I would love to hear your take on it. Please, make this a debate. I don't really do this a lot. A lot of people come to my videos and ask, you know, questions, and I answer and stand a third, but let's make a debate. For those that have seen the new edition, you know, first episode that joined, let's talk about it. Do you think they should have got rid of the first manager? Yes or no? Tell me your reason why. Let's talk about it. Let's get on here and make this a thing. It's your boy, Sirr Love. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. And every time I get on here, I give you guys everything that I got. So, yeah, man, check out everything else on the show, you know, on the channel. Go to www.phasevi.com. Check out more of what we're doing, and we building, and I want to build with you. Let's rock out. And hold up, I want to make one caveat to this debate. The idea that he could be a good person or a bad person. I want to kind of add something to that. Listen, if he knew what he was doing and he was a bad person, one, he could have recouped all of his expenses just like the label did. He could have been charging them a fee per month for being their manager and making sure that he was getting his percentage off of revenue versus off of profit. Because if he was taking his percentage off of, you know, it's hard to get it off of revenue, but if he had his percentage coming higher up the chain than off of direct profit, then he could have gotten some of his money back. He also could have got in bed with the producer, did all sorts of finagling and shenanigans, and got more money out the situation. There was a lot of things he could have did to take advantage of them boys, and he didn't. I think his biggest crime was ignorance. excuse me to whoever you are. I don't know you, personally, and I'm not trying to call you ignorant, but from how the show was depicted, that was a play of ignorance. And can you blame someone for that ignorance? Can you blame someone for being ignorant? Does he deserve to be fired? Let's stick with that. That's interesting. Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
Real talk, no chase. Real talk, I said real talk, I said real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase. Real talk, no chase.